Okay, as advertised on the last video, as promised, this one is going to be about arrangement, and I'm not going to kid you, this is an area that I do have a bit of problem with, mainly with the bass, because I went ahead and threw in some wub bass, just to give you an idea of something you can do. But this is mainly about arranging the drums, you know, using this particular format of making your own loops of drums and then using those to build off of. So basically what I've got here is I've got a 4 to the floor kick. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there as well here, and then I've got my basic one, which is drums bass, then that's the wub bass right there. Then I've got bang bangs is the name of the loop, which is just the robot voice. Then I have kick clap, which is basically just kick, then clap. I took out some of the kicks, so you just get kick, clap, kick, clap, kick, clap. Okay, then kick and clap, which is the one you saw me make, which is where I maintain all of the kick drums and the claps. Then I have one that's just the kick drums. Then I have one that's the shaker, you know, it was a kabasa, it's the bit of shaker, and the closed hi-hat, you know, the clicker. And then one that's just the shaker, and then I have some lead-in weird noises here, so I'll let you hear what it sounds like. And let me make sure that none of these are too loud. See, I really need to find somebody that can do melody, you know, music, you know, the proper, well, not proper music, but you know, the melody part of music. I'm not very good at it. You know, I can do this stuff alright, but melody, not so much. So I really need to find a good And the only difference between this drum bass one and this one is quieter, so it doesn't hit as hard. And there you go. It's a very simple little song, a minute 30-second song, more or less. You know, and obviously it would need a lot of work to sound really good, but I think you can probably hear that the basics, the building blocks to something at least interesting are there. It's just the finishing touches. Okay, and now I'm going to do, you don't have to do it this way. This is just a kind of a quick and dirty way. Find my reverb. I tend to go ahead and just add a small reverb on the whole track, just to help it sync up together. Actually, I like to push the liveliness. And something that I find is kind of interesting sounding to me is adding a round pan. That ought to work. To shakers especially. So the panning rotates as it plays through. Makes it sound a little bit more interesting to me. And just to break up the shakers, you can go ahead and put a round pan on both of the shaker loops, but have this one go quite a bit faster. So you go from a bit slower to it shifting back and forth pretty quickly. Tons of things you can do like that, just little variations that help break up the loops. And also, if you wanted to, you wouldn't even need to go ahead and put in a loop that has the whole thing on it. I mean, that's one way to do it, but what you could do is go ahead and have your individual parts, like your individual kicks that you would want to use, the shaker by itself, the hi-hats by themselves, you know, and all that, so you have different loops of different parts of it, and then put them in as you want. Entirely a way to go with this. But definitely fun, you know, even using a cheaper program that doesn't give you as many options, because obviously I have trouble, like I said, making the bass sound as good. But even then, there's little things you can do, like I can go ahead and drop the tone on just a few of these, so you get some different results. And if you didn't pick up on it, I have a delay on the bass, so it fades off a little bit. So, I mean, you know, tons of different things you can do, even if you don't have, you know, like a $300 program like FL Studio. Actually, yeah, it is about that much, isn't it? For the professional quality version of it. Or the one I've been looking at recently that I'd like to get, because I've been looking into videos on the Launchpad, and that thing looks pretty cool. I'd like to get that, a mixer, and the Ableton Live, but that's like almost $1,000 probably right there, considering that the full version of Live is like $500. And then of course I'd want to, you know, I'm wanting to do live DJ type stuff with it. You're not really DJing, but you know what I mean, you know, producing my own stuff live. And then that requires a new laptop so that I can use to produce off of, so that's another $500-600 right there. So probably more like $2,000 for everything I'd really need, without going into speakers even. So, yeah. If you want to help me with that, please come to my website and buy an album. I'm smiling, giving you my best shit-eating grin right now. Please. Now, if you don't dig the music, I'm not going to expect you to buy something. You can make a donation if you like. I do have a space for donations for people that don't feel like buying a book or music. Anyway, enough bullshit. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this somewhat instructive. You know, even if you don't have an expensive program or a good program you can work with, there's still options. Even if all you're able to use is something like this, multi-tracking and loops. You know, I hope I've given you some ideas, if nothing else. So, once again, thanks for watching. This is Ryan Acidheads Murphy. That's ACIDHEDZ. That's acidheads.com, and I am on SoundCloud now. That's SoundCloud/acidheads. So, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching once again, and bye.